So a couple of questions I have for you. Number one, is Ronaldo Green ready to play?
I thought he looked really ready to play. He's out there playing aggressive, very physical, uh, great leaping ability, great tenacity, great competitive fire. He's him and Mustafa are great competitors. They're really good athletes. I think they're both going to be at play right away.
Okay.
Green, you know, we did talk to Nick Sorensen. Sorensen said they're going to try him at nickel to start.
Okay.
So I think what you're going to see is, they'll have Mooney and Lenore outside, and this guy in the slot, most likely. So, you know,
Okay.
and they go, their 4-2-5 is almost their base look now, right? I mean,
Hmm.
they don't, I mean, teams are out of the base and in the sub package at such a degree now where the base is really the sub package and the sub package is the base.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I think Renardo Green is not the biggest guy, but
Hmm.
you can see he's really tenacious,
Okay.
really
All right.
aggressive, really competitive.
All right. So I'm going to take the theme of the show right about now. I'm
Okay.
going to interview you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to try to ask you the best questions of what the fans want to know, right? Because these are the questions. I haven't called anybody, I haven't talked to anybody. So these are the burning questions that I want to know. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Does Tatum Bell look like he can be a contributor? Is somebody who's going to be put on the shelf? Does he look like he could be a special teams guy?
Who are we
First
talking
of
about?
all, Tatum Bethune. Sorry, Tatum Bethune.
Bethune.
Yeah. Is he impressive? Does he look like a 49ers linebacker? Tell me about what you've seen from Tatum Bethune so far.
Well, he's a little undersized in that, instead of being like 6'2", he's more like 5'11".
Hmm.
He's a little on the shorter side. He's tremendously athletic. I
Hmm.
mean, he's a
Hmm.
really, really good athlete. And he moves really well. And he's always if you watch Florida State film, he's always around the ball. And if you watched him out there, he's flying around. I mean, he's an understated guy, but he seems confident in his abilities. Johnny Holland, handpicked this guy. I mean, he maintained a talking relationship throughout the draft process. So they really wanted this guy. Um, they've had good success picking linebackers in the past. Greenlaw in the 5th round, Warner in the 3rd round, Aziz as an undrafted guy, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles and Curtis Robinson off the street. Jalen Graham day 3, D Winters. I mean, they've done a good job in the past at identifying guys that fit their scheme. This guy is athletic, small. He's not a big guy. I mean, I would say he's under 6 feet, but
Okay.
he's tremendously athletic. Um,
So if you give me his arc, out of all of the linebackers that we've signed that have come here that have been late picks or UDFAs, who does he most likely remind you of?
Probably Jalen Graham, just from the standpoint of he's a little on the smaller side. This guy's 5'11", about 235,
Hmm.
and Jalen Graham's probably 6'1", 225.
Hmm.
They're in that kind of smaller linebacker package, but they move really well. I mean, that's really the thing. It's like this guy, the four it used to be 4'9" linebackers were fine. Then it's like, hey, if you ran 4'9", you were going to get isolated, and you needed to have guys who ran at least 4'7".
Hmm.
Now it's like a lot of these guys run right around 4'5". Now Bethune runs 4.61, so he's a little on the slower time for the stopwatch than some of their other guys, but he's clearly athletic, really, really rangy, great
Hmm.
movement ability. He's and seems like a really nice kid as well.
Hmm.
But we'll see as far as, you know, they're getting between Graham and Winters and Flanagan Fowles and Curtis Robinson and Ezekiel Turner. And then, of course, you've got Greenlaw hurt, probably on PUP for the first part of the year. Then you got Fred and you got Bethune. I mean, you've probably got 8 or 9 linebackers there, and you're probably only going to keep 5 or 6.
Hmm.
So I would say there's going to be a battle, obviously, of Devon. I mean, the one thing that was clear is when I talked to, when I asked the questions about Jalen Graham, I got we just signed Devondre Campbell. So Devondre Campbell is going to be the starter opposite, Fred Warner inside.
Okay.
Devondre Campbell is going to take Dre Greenlaw's spot, at least to start. And then if he gets outplayed by Graham or Winters or Bethune, I think then they'll make the move from there. But they're definitely starting with Campbell as the number one guy in the depth chart.
Okay. All right. So customarily, we always go for scheme fit guys offensively. And I want to be able to get to this player because I feel like he's not getting a lot of shine. And he could be a contributor early, in my opinion. Tell me what you've seen from Jacob Cowing so far.
Well, I mean, not only that, I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and I asked him a few questions. I mean, he's very, very quick. He's kind of like a poor man's Tyreek. He's
Hmm.
quick, but he's short, but he's not small and weak.
Hmm.
He's really competitive. He's a guy who can run routes and can get vertical and can get separation and yet is very precise in his route running.
Hmm.
He plucks the ball with his hands. He's 5'8", but he plays strong. Like he'll try to block downfield.
He's a
Uh, you
strong
know,
route runner. Is he strong?
he's really strong as a route runner. To me, one of the things, there's a great video that Steve Smith did on Cowing. And I asked Cowing, I said, have you seen the Steve Smith video on you? And he's like, yeah. And it's like a half hour long. And Steve Smith goes through all the different reasons he loves Cowing. And one of
Hmm.
the, and Steve Smith should be listened to because in a lot of ways, Steve Smith was Cowing, right? He was a 5'9" receiver with speed and talent and, huge guts. And you see a lot of the same traits. One of the things that in the Steve Smith breakdown of Cowing, he talks about how he's got advanced eyes and he knows what to look for. And there was one play where he was trying to beat the jam at the line of scrimmage and the corner's right up on the line. And he's looking at the safety because he's looking to see if he's going to be doubled, if what exactly, if he can get the coverage indicator away from how the safety's playing him off the line. And to me, when you see stuff like that, you see, this guy's well coached. This guy's been around. He's a veteran. So
Mm.
he played his best football at the end of the year. Huge against Arizona State, monster against Oklahoma. Those last two games, he had like 16 catches for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns combined. So he finished fast, but he's a mature, focused, intense kid who I think is going to contribute right away. I wouldn't be surprised. I saw him and Pearsall, and I liked what I saw from Pearsall too. But I would say Cowing, because of that unbelievable speed that he has, I think in this offense could be a huge impact right away.
What did Cowing run? Do you know?
He ran 4.38, but
Okay.
I would say he plays easily that fast. Easily. You see guys excuse me, that run the great 40 time, but they don't play to that time. Vernon Davis comes to mind, and there are others. This guy plays faster than the time. He's really, really quick in and out of the breaks. He's really, really refined as a route runner. And he's just ready to contribute right away. I think he'll help them as a returner if they want to use him that way, but I think he'll also really help them as a dynamic third receiver that can create separation. I mean, they
Hmm.
haven't really had. I mean, they've had Jawan on third down, sticky-handed, big-bodied guys who catch it in a crowd, but they haven't had the third down guy or the slot guy that really has good ball skills and can create the separation.
Mm.
So in a long, long time. So this is going to be an element that gives them kind of a more of a dynamic feel.